Pakistan joined Russia, China and Iran in opposing the establishment of military bases in and around Afghanistan and has called for respect of Kabul's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Now, the joint statement by the four countries came days after Donald Trump expressed his desire to retake the Bagram air base in Afghanistan, which was once the biggest air base for US forces in Afghanistan. The US president has even threatened Afghanistan of consequences.
Afghanistan, total disaster for no reason whatsoever. We're going to leave Afghanistan, but we're going to leave it with strength and dignity. And we're going to keep Bagram, the big air base, one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back because they need things from us. We want that base back. But one of the reasons we want the base is, as you know, it's an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons.
The meeting between representatives of China, Russia, Pakistan and Iran were held on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Interestingly, the meeting took place on the same day as Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir, who met Trump in the Oval Office of the White House, details of which were not made public. It is not clear whether Afghanistan was discussed during the meeting. The US has so far made no comments regarding the joint statement. Parallel to this, the Trump administration continues to ignore the recent strategic defense pact signed between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, which was aimed at boosting military ties between the two countries. Along with this, unverified reports have suggested that Saudi Arabia could just participate in a military exercise hosted by China and joined by Pakistan. The exercise, named Warrior 9, could see Saudi troops for the first time after the signing of the defense pact. All right, to discuss this further, I'm now being joined live by Lynn O'Donnell, journalist and author who joins us from London. Lynn, always a pleasure speaking with you. Wanted to get your understanding on this. Of course, Pakistan joining Russia, China and Iran in opposing the establishment of any kind of military base in and around Afghanistan. Earlier, Trump had mentioned ambitions or thoughts regarding Bagram. We know that Asim Munir and Shehbaz Sharif, they've had a good amount of meetings with Donald Trump in and around in the last few months, and here they stand on a side which is in a way opposing any kind of formation of a military base. How do you see this development going forward?
Well, let's start with the basics. Bagram was not built, formed by the United States. It's a Soviet-built military facility outside of Kabul. Yes, the Americans used it as the hub of their anti-Taliban war for 20 years, but they gave it up. They moved out in July 2021 and rescinded control to whoever the power was going to be in Afghanistan going forward. As that turns out, it's now the Taliban. The United States supported the Republic government. It left, and it was basically China, Russia, Iran and Pakistan opposed the presence of US troops in Afghanistan for 20 years, and they will continue to do so. You mentioned the joint statement that was released on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly last week. This is just a reassertion of their own territorial sovereignty as much as a recognition of Afghanistan's sovereignty. So I think that this is not a case so much of Pakistan going against Trump. It is more a declaration of red lines and unity in the region. There is no way that Iran, China, Pakistan, Russia, or the Russian satellite states that border Afghanistan are going to concede or approve the return of US military presence to Afghanistan.
Lynn, and as far as Saudi Arabia's position is concerned, of course, we've, in the past, there has been a certain amount of cozying up with Donald Trump, the commitment of $600 billion in investments. And Saudi Arabia has had ambitions for nuclear assets since a while. Of course, now then there comes this defense pact with Pakistan. Recently, we've heard that, of course, Pakistan's nuclear arsenal will not be at the disposal of Saudi troops. But now there is this new news of course, Saudi Arabia taking part in military drills, which it may. It's unverified as of now, but cozying up with China in terms of, military troops. How do you think US is going to be seeing this certain shift in dynamic taking place in West Asia?
Kind of difficult to know what the Trump administration sees in anything, to be honest. There is no consistency. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have had a pretty close relationship, including at the defence level, for a long time. Pakistani military have had a presence, a cooperative presence with the Saudis for a while. They train the Saudis, they fly for the Saudis. So I don't think there should be any surprise in that, and it's not going to be any secret to the United States. I think that the US-Saudi relationship is, as you say, close, and it's going to stay that way.
But with Saudi taking part with any kind of, any step towards China, do you feel that will be taken well? Because clearly US and China are, it's not in the best of terms even now.
Yeah, it's not on the best of terms, but, what can, unless Trump actually knocks on the door or sends one of his relatives to knock on the door of the leader of Saudi Arabia and say, don't do it, I just can't see that they're in any position to stop the Saudis having alliances with regional partners. And Pakistan, like I said, has been a long-term regional partner. And Pakistan's relationship with China is very close. And I see the Trump administration certainly tolerating that.
Understood, Lynn. Thanks so much for joining me here, sharing all your thoughts. Of course, this is evolving. Dynamics are changing. It's geopolitics. The players keep changing. And of course, the dynamics keep changing. Love to have you on the show again. That was Lynn O'Donnell joining me from the UK.